I'm joined by Kyle Balgames. Welcome, Kyle.
How are you?
Raja Suleiman with Orzov.
Max McVitie.
Congratulations, Brian DeMars. Zach Allen.
I wouldn't be here without these guys, though. So.
And the champion of Proto Counter-Attack here, Ari Lax.
Welcome to another episode of Making Magic Happen, brought to you by RW Hobbies and Games in Livonia, Michigan. I'm Zach, and today we're playing Gruul Fires in Pioneer. Yep, Gruul Fires. Is this that good? I don't know. I've never played against it. I've never played with it. We're in for a treat today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to learn. That or you're going to watch me get smashed on repeat. One of those things is definitely happening. So, what are we doing here? Well, this is a user-submitted list by Robert Schweikert, who has also, I believe, submitted the Pioneer Blue-Black Narset deck we played. So he's got a bit of a brewing streak, and yeah, he usually submits pretty sweet lists. So, pretty excited to try this out. This looks sweet. If you've been watching any of my top 10 videos, I am in love with the card Vivian Monsters Advocate. I don't know why. It is one of my pet cards. I'm going to play it way too much in next standard. I think this card is amazing. I think it's way better than it's shown in standard, and people are sleeping on it. So I want people to see how good this card is. I'm very interested in that. What are we doing here? Well, we're trying to break Fire's Invention, which got banned in standard because of how good it paired with Cavalier Flames. Now, I will also say part of the reason it got banned in standard was that it paired also extremely well with the card Teferi. So take that for what you will. This deck does not have Teferi in it, which makes it a little worse, I guess, but it's fine. So how do we break Fire's Invention? Well, you want to use it to double your mana, right? The elves are a little weird. They don't actually make sense in a Fires deck in the sense that you want to kind of ramp with lands, I guess, because that makes Fires more broken. But the thing with these elves is they're just too good not to play. So you're going to put them in your green decks. And they actually do work with Cavalier Flames, but we'll get to that in a second. So the point with Fires, though, is that you get to double your mana on every turn, and you're not tapping your lands. So you can sort of triple your mana if you have a way to spend mana on something that's not casting a spell. And if you watch me play Jessica Luca, a lot of times that's cracking an Omen to Scry or cycling a Shark Typhoon. Both of those things totally valid plays. This deck has activated abilities on all its creatures, essentially. I guess not all of them, but most of them. Ronin's the Indomitable has an activated ability. Scavenging Ooze has an activated ability. Tireless Checker doesn't, but you can spend mana cracking the clues, so it's kind of like it has an activated ability. Radahard of Keld has an activated ability. P and Kieran Nalaar have an activated ability. Cavalier Flames has an activated ability. So tons and tons of stuff to do with my mana. Just infinite things to do with my mana, essentially. And yeah, the idea is to just get a Fires in play. Then next turn play a threat, play a Cavalier Flames, give all my creatures anywhere from +2 to +3 +0 in haste, and kill the opponent. And if you go like Pia and Kieran into Cavalier Flames, people die. That ends the game real quick. Now, I will say, Fires limits you to 2 spells per turn, no matter what. If you have Fires in play, you're only casting 2 spells a turn. That's happening. But it makes them free for if you have like less mana, I guess, or for like the number of lands you have, I guess you'd say. So I can go, a turn 3 Fires Invention with Llanowar Elves in play, and then turn 4, and then cast like a Tireless Tracker, right, off the Fires on turn 3, and then turn 4, I can put a Pia and Kieran Nalaar in play, and then like hard cast a Vivian or hard cast a Glorybringer, hard cast a Cavalier, anything like that. So a lot of stuff, a lot of interesting things we can do there. Sideboard, we got some Destiny Spinners for decks with counterspells. We got some Angers of the Gods for decks with Woe Strider, essentially. I got Shifting Ceratops for more decks with counterspells. I don't like losing to counterspell decks when I don't get to play counterspells, so I got a lot of those. I've got a Rex Sage in case we run into artifacts or enchantments. Cindervines is kind of the same thing, although it's more to help us against Lotus Field decks. That I really don't want to play against Lotus Field decks with this. This deck just doesn't interact with those decks at all. I'm just going to look at them while they kill me. Damping Sphere for the exact same reason, and Grafdigger's Cage for Winota and Woad Strider decks. I will also say, this deck looks sweet, but I'm very low confidence it's better than Winota. And Winota is a very, very high bar. That deck is quite strong. It does seem more consistent to me, so maybe that's enough. I don't know. We're going to find out. This deck looks really sweet, so I want to play it. Let's get to battling. Alright, how do we feel about this hand? Well, we have not enough mana to do anything. If our elf dies, we lose on the spot, and opponent's playing a Lurrus deck, so it's either super likely our elf dies or not likely our elf dies, but we got double red and triple red and no red sources, so I do think I'm going to mulligan. Alright, this hand, maybe good. I don't know. Maybe not good. Unclear. Probably not good, but yeah, we'll keep it. It's fine. We on the draw. We'll draw some payoff. It's going to be sweet. I kind of feel like I'm supposed to bottom fires here, but Rada lets me hit lands, so sure. Dump a forest. Already got triple green. Don't need an... Okay, black. Oh, sorry, elf. We knew thee well. Alright, that's actually a really good draw for this hand. I'm going to need Rada to hit, and hopefully this elf doesn't die. Don't die, elf! Stay with us! Stay with us, buddy! No! Oh. I'm glad we mulliganed that first hand. Jeez. Dreadhorde Arcanist? Oh my. Oh my. I don't know how we ever beat this start. I'm gonna get a tapped Stomping Grounds in here. That said, this isn't getting value yet. It's not like they have a Preordain or Ponder to flashback. They could Village Rites something, like a go Pyromancer Village Rites, flashback Village Rites. That'd be pretty bad for me. But those are some very specific cards. They do need to have those. This is a good deck to have Anger of the Gods against, by the way. So happy we have those. I actually think Anger is one of the best sideboard cards in Pioneer at the moment, and people are really sleeping on that card. Push yourself. Can you even do that? You push it. Yeah, alright. Oh, let's not get into that. Alright, well, opponent's passing with 3 mana up. What are the odds my Rada lives? Can't be good, right? Just no shot. Actual no shot. So, the options here are play Rada or play Elf. It is better to play Rada on a turn where I have a land drop to make because it can clear the top of my library. So I'm tempted to play Elf. But Elf is almost certain to die. This at least beats like a Shock. Or a Cast Down. Cast Down is a card they could be playing. Pretty unlikely they have Cast Down over something like Eliminate, but they could. I think it's Rada, though, because the thing here is that Rada's probably going to... Whatever I play here is probably going to die. And if I'm saving Rada to get value on, like, turn 5 to hit a land... Like, I'm going to have to play my land before I play Fires next turn anyway, and I want to go Fires into Rada. So given that, I do think it's right to play Rada. It definitely stinks that she's going to die here. But also, like, if I play the Elf, like, I just know it's getting Fatal Pushed. Rada probably will end up getting Fatal Pushed, but maybe not. Maybe opponent can't trigger the Revolt, so we'll find out. Alright, Fire's on top of my library. Don't love that. I guess it doesn't actually matter. Ooh, Rada lived. Take it. Abbot of Carol Keep. Okay, so they can't necessarily kill Rada. Oh my god, the Fabled Passage too? No! It's like the most ridiculous turn ever. Abbott hits Pyromancer and they have Fable Passage to trigger his Volt on their only instant? Ridiculous. Come on. Ugh. Well, that right there is a case of all the things lining up perfect. Very annoying. I'm going to cast my Elf. Go Elf Man. Alright, I think the chances of me winning this game are not high. But I've got an Elf and I have a Dream. Alright, well, they do be like that sometimes. The Dream might be dead. Oh, they got the village rights too? Oh my god. Alright, this is opponent's deck doing exactly what it wants to do. Yep. The Village Rights, Dreadhorde Arcanist combo. Oh, I was going to draw Questing Beast. I guess I maybe had a shot. That might have been a little premature, but no. I was going to die. Alright, so I want Angers of the Gods. I have a third Glorybringer. I was supposed to put another Glorybringer in my sideboard. Darn. It's probably supposed to be there with a Destiny Spinner. Whatever. I even got a third Glorybringer for this. And curses. I think I can board out some elves, just because I think they're so likely to die, it's not really worth having them. And I like the idea of having a higher curve against a deck like this. I actually kind of like that. How do I feel about shifting Ceratops? I don't love it. They're not countering, so Destiny Spinner seems medium. Cindervine's probably not very good either. I'm also like bringing in Anger. What dies to Anger? A bunch of my stuff. I'm just going to cut elves. I think it's doable on the play. The deck I'm playing this is not fast. This is not a rush. Like, they are fast. Like, they're efficient in that they can cast cheap spells. But they're not going to kill me super fast. And they can get quite ahead on the board with what they're doing, but all of that can be answered by an Anger. If that makes sense. This deck feels to me like it needs more Bone Crusher, too. I was thinking, just looking at the curve, like, this deck probably needs a third or fourth Bone Crusher. This card's really good. I'm probably just being too cute with this Rada nonsense. Rada's good, but, like, Bone Crusher's way better. Alright, well, I mean, I think this hand is a keep. It is not really what I envisioned when I sideboarded the double elf no anger hand, but it's still good enough that I am going to keep it. Really hoping I get to cultivate next turn and that this doesn't get fatal pushed on one. Perfect. Perfect. Another elf. Well, we can cultivate next turn if we need to, which we probably will. Thoughtseize my Vivian. Ah! My deck lost to 2 spells! Come on, deck! It's not clear they can beat Ronus, though. Ronus is pretty good against them. Don't take Vivian. Leave Vivian alone. Opponent's really... They took Cultivate? What? Do they have another Thoughtseize to take Vivian? No, just a push for my elf. I don't really agree with anything that just happened there, but it's fine. Woohoo! Would you look at that? Thoughtseize bug on Moto is real. It is very real. Sorry about you Thoughtseize bug opponent. This is why you take the Vivian, not the Cultivate. I'm sitting here like I just cannot beat it. I guess they set it up with the Arcanist. That makes sense. They're going to Thoughtseize me again with the Arcanist next turn. Yeah. Nope. Not today, my friend. Oh, and we drew Fires. Hello, Fires. Hello. I think I want Vigilance. It's going to die anyway, but I think I want Vigilance. Sure. Vigilance counter. Nice. Alright, opponent has the Pyro Man. And a Cruxa. Ooh, don't like Cruxa here. I have lost my Ronus. Opponent has 2 Fatal Pushes too, so they're going to be able to like attack through my Vivian. I really need to hit off the top of my library next turn. This card is ridiculously good, man. Alright, creature spell on top of the library. Tireless Tracker? Hello. Hello. Oh, we even get the clue and the oh, that was like the best thing possible. You take those. You do in fact take those. Gosh, another land though? That's actually really annoying. I only have 23 lands and I've cultivated. Was I supposed to -2? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to keep putting bodies in front of the opponent here. They can't necessarily kill the Arcanist this turn. Or the Tracker. They can definitely kill the Beast with a push. It's not clear they can kill the Tracker. They might be able to. They might have a Village Rites. But they also can't bring Cruxa back. I don't really care about any discard spells they might have, which is clear they have some amount of. And they do need to kill both of my creatures to actually get rid of Vivian. And Vivian's the real prize here. Vivian's the thing we want. Vivian just... I do feel like we got a little unlucky with 3 straight lands, although Tracker was so good, it's hard to complain. Interesting. So maybe they have like a shock? The hand could also have another Fatal Push. Would not... What? Oh, they have another Village Rites. Okay. Or they have a Village Rites. Alright, well now if they hit a removal spell for my Vigilance guy, I'm going to be pretty pissed. We've already gone through 2 pushes. I get to block. Nice. Alright. Cannot leave this card in play. This card is beating me single-handedly at the moment. This card is very beatable. This one is not. Perfect. I was just thinking. It'd be totally cool if the opponent had another Arcanist. Alright. Creature under this land, please. Gosh, that, come on. I'm only playing 23 lands. I'm playing a bad deck too. Help me out. Where is the deck when you need it, man? Just asking for a little help. That's all we're asking for. Just a little help. Another young Pyromancer. Brutal. And an Abbot. Also brutal. At least they can't play the K command. That is good for me. Their attacks here, like, aren't great either. if they want to kill Vivian and use the Arcanist, they have to trade their young Pyromancer and their Arcanist for a Vivian. Otherwise, they don't kill it. It might still be worth it for them, but those aren't great attacks. And if they if they sack an elemental with Village Rites, which seems like the smart thing to do, not one of these two creatures, then Vivian doesn't even die, and I get to eat a Pyromancer and an Arcanist. They did sack the elemental, right? Or no, that's on the stack. Got it. I'm gonna say it makes sense to sack the Abbot there, but this is just not the end of the world. I mean, it is the end of the world for me in that I'm drawing my 9th land here instead of any spell, but opponent's mostly out of cards now. I mean, they are going to get to bring back Cruxo, which is... Oh, no, they just drew 2 more cards. I'm lying. They're mostly out of threats that matter, though. And Vivian did do some good work there. Thought sees me. Alright. I got a forest, and I'm going to draw another land. Of note, I will not be pitching these lands. Losing Vivian there really stinks. There was no way I could have blocked to... I mean, I made the best block there my deck had available to me. I really do feel like we got kind of unlucky there, drawing as many lands in a row as we did. We also have a claim. Ugh. I just can't get rid of this Arcanist. Where's my Scoos? Or my Anger of the Gods? Anything. Alright, I'm not going to play either of these. I have... I guess I could have attacked there. I do have the Red Cavalier in my deck. So keeping bad cards in your hand to discard when you draw it is good. I imagine I'm going to get Village Rites into the ground again. Opponent's just playing a deck that has like real curve and spells for eternal formats, and I'm playing like a kind of hee-haw, just bash, get you standard combo deck. And you can see the difference in power level of cards. When you combine it with the fact that I didn't draw great, and you can see the mismatch happening here. Although, I think this game looks closer than it should, just based on how powerful Vivian was. I'll say that much. God, another Village Rites. When you look at this deck on paper, it looks bad. Like, it doesn't look like they have enough, like, card draw spells to really make this work, or, like, enough things to trigger Pyromancer, but when you draw 3 Village Rites in your top 23 cards, it's going to get a lot better, I think. What does that let them flash back? Or it just makes it trade with one of my guys instead of get eaten? I don't really understand why that's better. Claim again. Okay. Well, can I win still? I certainly think that I can. Am I in a good spot? I'm certainly not. But opponent will now have cast every Village Rites in their deck twice with the Pyromancer in play. It's also like, the thing about this is Village Rites is only good when they already have the Pyromancer. It seems like a lot of 4-ofs and you need like one of each copy for the deck to actually be good with no selection outside of Village Rites. But I mean, when it does draw its stuff all together in the right order, it seems nigh unbeatable. I'll say that much. We have finally put the Arcanist in a spot where they don't do that much against me. All that said, no, I need to block the Arcanist. These just can't be on the table anymore. This is the card that beats us, and the fact that we haven't drawn any angers or any way to remove that card is what's single-handedly beating us here. Alright, can we draw a spell and not the 10th land? Great. Am I dead on board? I'm not, right? I go to 2 on board. I guess they probably drew like a Kolaghan's Commander or Shock. I can at least discard Fires to Cruxa to stay alive. Which is why I held the Fires, for the record. I needed something against Cruxa. Alright, I don't know what I can draw here, but it's probably going to be a land anyway. Scavenging Ooze. You know what? That one would have been really good last turn. Does this save me? It probably doesn't, but it is interesting. Look at this. This would have been so good against the 10 Arcanists claim to fame. Ah! I probably should have brought in Grafdigger's Cage too. That's probably just a mistake of not really understanding my role in the matchup. I just don't gain enough life, right? Yeah, I'm only getting 2 more. Dead on board. Alright. We got unlucky. That's it. That's all. It was just unluck. That's all it was. Should have been better. Alright, back for round 2. Can we get a good hand here? This is not a very good hand. Xenagos looks sweet in this hand, but I don't have the lands to cast anything, so we're going to mulligan. How about this hand? This hand looks actually pretty good. Annoying that I can't turn to Rada, but we could maybe if we draw land. Interesting. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to... Oh, man, this is tough. I think it's the forest. I think it's really close. And if my elf gets killed, it will definitely have been wrong. But I think it is. Alright, so really hoping we draw a land either off Rada or... Oh, really mostly off Rada. Ooh, my play's going to get censored now. Don't love that. They won't have it, though. We drew a 4-drop Rada come through! And now I feel so stupid for bottoming the land. Growth Spiral not censored? No, come on. God. Why'd I bottom the land? Why? My hand would be so good. It actually wouldn't be that good, so we're still fine, but... You love to see it. You just love to see it. When you draw the elf instead of the land. This is the dyssynergy I was talking about. The elves are still so good. I'm supposed to do this. I think my bottoming the land was a bit greedy there. Thing was, I just needed to draw 1, but I should have just sent Ronus back. Ronus isn't doing anything. That was probably dumb. Probably very, very dumb. Right, they have a wreck, and now I have to stare in horror as my opponent does way more powerful things than what I'm doing. They're even playing a strategy that's like not good against what I'm doing. They're just like bad counter spells. But yeah, I can't cast anything, so tough spot to be in. Alright, counter my Xenagos and move on, please. It is time. My opponent countered it. I am stunned. We need to think about that. I will also say the bottoming the land only looks bad because I then rattle off 4 straight spells, but rewind one game where I couldn't draw a spell to save my life and had 9 lands in play, and just is what it is. This deck does have smoothing for its draws, right? Like this card kind of fixes Flood and Screw, but only in the sense that it only works when I draw my 5-drop, and I have to get to 5 mana before it fixes that, right? And it has to be 3 red, which, as you can tell, I'm not particularly close to. Explosion and Elf for 4. This is just rude at this point. This is just actual bullying. And Scorching Dragonfire. It's ridiculous. Alright, I'm just going to concede because we didn't draw a land in 5 draw steps. Alright, so bringing in stuff that can beat this deck. We don't have a lot. But we do have Cindervines is pretty decent. We got Destiny Spinner, some anti-counter stuff. And I got the Shifting Cerataps. I think Pia's okay. I think Bone Crusher is actually kind of bad. I still like Rada a little bit. Scavenger News. I guess this deck has Uro, so Scavenger News is still good. Glorybringer seems really bad against an Aether Gust deck to me. I'm going to trim an Elf and both Cultivates. Ugh. The mana, once again, an issue. I guess maybe I shouldn't be cutting Cultivate, or it's just way more important to the deck than I thought. I mean, if this land hits a red source, it's good. I guess Xanago still gets countered, though. I think I'm going to mulligan. Alright, this hand might be good. It is possible that this hand is good. I do think Fires is the bottom here. It's not good in this hand because I'm land light, which might be an indictment on this strategy as a whole, but you never know. Really need to rattle some red sources off the top. Well, just lands, but mana sources. Really need to rattle a few of those off the top. Alright, that when I said I wanted a red source, that was basically what I meant. That was essentially the same thing. Pretty much the same thing. Red land here would be excellent. Red land. 4-drop I can't cast. Again, basically the same thing. It would have actually been good to play Questing Beast there, not going to lie. If I had a land. Frantic inventories. Fair enough. Maybe my mediocre crew of 1 and 2 power creatures will be able to beat Temur Reclamation by attacking. Maybe. Red source. Alright. One of those you just can't win scenarios. You just can't win. Play a game where I flood, then 2 consecutive where I can't draw a land to save my life. I'm only playing 3 lands. I am only playing 23 lands, but this is now 8 consecutive draw steps without hitting a land going in this match. They have the wreck. Perfect. Why wouldn't they? I think I could beat this. My beats deck is actually pretty good against it. I think that I could, but it's gonna be tough. Dude, come on. 9 draw steps, 0 lands. We'll get there at some point, though. I know this deck has anger in its sideboard, too, so it's just, like, it's even worse, because, like, playing these would play around it, but I just can't get there. Well, we have a chance. If opponent doesn't have Anger of the Gods... Okay, yep. Yep, okay, well. Oh, this has been a good time. This has been a very good time. And that's a 5-drop. Alright, perfect. Alright. Bad showing from Gruul. Gruul Fire Beats. We're 0 for 4 in games. I do feel like we've gotten the short end of variance. But I will say this is still kind of an indictment on the deck. And I think this is a mistake people will make, right? When they're trying to evaluate a deck. They'll say, okay, well, I lost, right? But I got really unlucky there, where I didn't draw a land for 2 straight games for the entire match. I actually never drew a land in that match at any point. And you can say, yeah, that's bad variance, right? But part of it is the deck's construction, I think. That is certainly part of the variance from the deck, is that it doesn't get rid of its own variance, so I'm losing to it, right? Whereas I can play strategies that do that. Like, that's just... I can play Omen of the Sea in my Yorion deck and have less variance than I do in the 60-card deck. And I can play Uro in my 34 land deck and have less variance than this deck. You know what? It's ridiculous. Can't draw a land for 3 games and then you sit there for... You just draw the next hand, it's a 6-lander in your 23-land deck. Alright, now I'm just getting mocked. Now I don't appreciate this. I'm going to keep this one. I am fairly low confidence that this is correct. In fact, I have no confidence this is correct. But maybe opponent will be doing something slow. We are in the 0-2 bracket, so I got a shot. Alright, Island. Maybe I got a shot. Maybe we have a shot. Drawn Catacombs. Feels like that Narset deck. That would be my guess. And, alright. This is one of those when it rains it pours decks, I'll tell you what. Last game did not draw land in the match. This game, mulligan a Horror of the Broken Lands. What? I don't know what's going on. This is wild. Yeah, this game, mulligan a 6-lander into a 5-lander. But opponent's playing some nonsense, I think. And then only draw lands. Okay, that's actually a really good draw. Give me the fires. No one expects Xenagos the Reveler. Let's make a 2/2 Satyr creature token with haste. Boom, let's bash. Bash. Fatal push. No. I wanted that. This is what I meant, though, by this is my smoothing mechanic. And when you do get here, like, my next turn is going to be awesome. Drawing this just fixed everything, right? And that's good. That's kind of what the deck's trying to do, right? I mean, that is the good part of the deck. Vile Manifestation. I don't know. Opponent is on some real nonsense over there. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, I guess casting Cultivate is still good. Because it just gives me more stuff to discard. I'm going to put the Mountain in play. Okay. That actually worked out pretty well. And now we have some bashing to do. Opponent's either taking 12 or trading with a Satyr or chumping. None of these options look particularly appealing for the opponent, for being honest. And next turn does not get a lot better. It does not get very much better. I'm playing as a Hollow One deck. Wild. Alright. You can't attack. You're dead on board if you attack. Alright, well. Yep, okay. I guess they figured it out after they declared the attack. Fair enough. Fair enough. The sideboard doesn't look particularly good here. Yeah, I don't know. I'm bringing some Sarahs over some Glory Bees. Actually, Glory Bees probably good. There's like Hollow One and stuff. Yeah, that's probably wrong. I'm just not going to sideboard. I'm going to let him... I'll let the opponent do whatever they want to do before I get to that. I haven't seen... Like... Nothing I have in my sideboard is good against what they showed me last game. That could still be good. Alright. I do think this hand's a keep. But it's not good. It's a bad hand. I will keep it though. It's not a bad hand, it's just a very slow hand, I guess. Slow is kind of bad. Alright. Forest Goat. Opponent cycles something, presumably. They did. This feels like I'm playing as Modern Living End. I don't know. It doesn't. I don't think it is Modern Living End, but that's what it feels like I'm playing against. Okay, Fires is actually a very good draw there. We'll take that. Opponent cycles another creature. There has to be some living end thing I'm not thinking of. Something that returns creatures to play. There has to be. There's no way there's not. What am I missing here? Maybe some like random reanimate spell? I just don't know. I really don't know. I do feel like I'm going to get censored this turn. I think that's likely to happen, but also that's fine because I can't stop counter spells, so just I'm going to play into them. Okay, well, maybe not. Fair enough. Opponent is really out here cycling. I don't know. There has to be some payoff for this. Something ridiculous, because this is just not good in Pioneer. My opponent spent their first 3 turns taking a card from their hand, putting it in their graveyard, and then drawing a card. And they spent all their mana doing this. They literally used every piece of mana. And their payoff was a 2-mana 4/4. Like, I guess. Well, I could play around Censor. This does get a little bit blown out if they have Gust. Nope. Alright. I think I want Pia here. Pia's also really good next turn with Cavalier. Sure, let's just deliver the questing beats, dude. The questing beats. Bash. Bash. So this is actually a good trade for the opponent's side. They should take it. But I would like to trade with that before it gets to 5 power and can trade with my Cavalier, because Cavalier is better for me than questing beats. Alright, I don't think opponent has Censor anymore. I think it's blatantly obvious that if you had Censor there and your opponent has resolved the Fire's Invention, you cycle the Censor. So I'm off that as an option. I don't think it's the case any longer. I just still have no comprehension of what my opponent's deck is doing. It looks like they're playing cards that draw cards just for the sake of drawing cards so far. Which, I mean, look, I can get behind that. I like to draw cards. I'm a fan of it. But I don't understand. There has to be some other payoff here that I'm just missing. Or not understanding. That has to be the case. Second P and K. Just like a commit. Alright. You don't love to see that, but it's fine. I'm going to just Cav of Flames now. And I do want to hit my lands, I think. I'm going to ditch these two. So, yeah. I pitched the one Pia because I obviously had a second one. It would have been fine to cast, but with the Fires gone, I think I'm supposed to... I do think I'm supposed to pitch. And this sets me up to have a really good next turn. Darn, I think I can trade now. Opponent's down to 3 cards in hand. I'm still, like, just wondering if any of them really even matter. It's unclear. We're going to start with a Fires Invention. Countervailing Winds. Pay 7? No, I can't pay 7. Now I guess I am playing the lands, because 7's, when you get your fires beat, 7's the number you want to get to be able to play Cavalier and pump it in the same turn. I will not play a single other land, though, the rest of this game. I guess I would play lands after I put my 4th Cavalier in play, but... Or if I drew Tracker, I would play lands, I guess. Or with Rada. This forest is not going in play. So it's getting pitched into the yard, I'll tell you what. I assume opponent has more counterspells. Sure. I do assume that is the case. Wait. 4. Actually, there is... Now that I've lost the Cavalier, there is reason to play this forest. Let me think about it. If I play the forest... And I draw land next turn, I can play Pia and kill the Vial of Manifestation in 1 turn and deal a decent amount of damage. I'm still not going to play it, though, I don't think. I think the upside of having, like, Tracker or anything along those lines is just better. So this just, like, has to be an Abandoned Sarcophagus deck, right? That has to be the payoff they've been playing towards. Scarab God. That's kind of scary. This thing gets really big with a Scarab God in play, I'll tell you what. I am not blocking, though. Another elf. Perfect. What do I want to do here? I think I am just supposed to play the land. So I can put opponent to 14. Next turn my attack is like way lethal. I can pump 4 times. That makes these both attack for 10. So opponent goes to 4, and then they have to block all 3 of the other. No, then I can't sack with Pia and Kieran. Is it worth it to attack and lose Pia and Kieran this turn? I don't think so. I definitely can't lose the Cavalier of Flames. So I think I'm just going to attack with the Thopters. Leave this back to block because I do need to block one of these this turn. Probably block the Manifestation with this elf. Censor just over here looking just as bad as I always say it is. Would have been so sick to have a counterspell there to stop my P to stop my P and Kieran Nalaar. Instead, they hit a Censor that doesn't do anything on turn 20 and probably just cycled into another land, which is exactly what you don't want to draw on turn 20. Plays Island. Alright, so they can actually bring back 2 things. They're still dead on board, though, provided nothing changes. And that doesn't change whether they attack or don't attack. Oh, they can bring back the P and Kieran and Nalaar I pitched earlier. Oh my god. This is horrible for me. I thought I was in a much better... I forgot I had a thing that lets them block flyers. That's horrible. Yeah, now I actually just can't win. I just can't beat the Scarab God. You know, it's weird. It's like if I ever drew my Scavenging Ooze, it'd be amazing. Multiple matchups. Does my own questing beast do anything? Not really. It really just doesn't. Them bringing back P and Kieran Nalaar is too bad for me here. I think I could win without them having P and Nalaar. I guess I make fun of Censor, but them drawing lands with a Scarab God in play is always good, so hard to hate on that one. So Grafdigger's Cage doesn't do anything against Scarab God. Opponent did show us multiple counter spells, though, so I do think I want my Destiny Spinners. Glory Breezy still sounds pretty good. I really think Bone Crusher kind of stinks. I'm still going to cut a Cultivate. I don't know. Cultivate's alright. I guess this hand's a keep. This hand is so slow. Ugh. I'm going to keep it, but I feel like this is the kind of hand you... like. I feel like this is the classic keep-lose scenario where you keep a hand and then immediately lose. But opponent's deck is slow and doesn't do anything until they get to Scarab God, so maybe. Okay, Tracker's not a bad draw. It'd be a lot better if we ever draw lands, but not a bad draw. Alright. I really don't want to get censored here. I hate getting censored. It's so frustrating because the card's so bad, but I'm going to get censored here and just accept that I got censored. Alright, you got me. I was got. I'm going to play as a Vile Manifestation. Can we draw a land, please? This would be an awesome turn for a land. Land. Opponent has stopped me in my upkeep. Alright. Land. Right now. Land. This is... yes! Got there. Fires in play is bad news for the opponent. And now Vile Manifestation does not look very good against a Questing Beast. I'll tell you what. We actually said Glorybringer to kill Vile Manifestation, like that was one of our plans. I'm into it. I'm indeed into it. Commit? No, just a Curator of Mysteries. Alright, well. It'll be really good here is a land either in one of my next two cards. Land. Okay, that's not a land, but that's close. Well, it's not close. It's not. It's just very much not a land. But it's in terms of draw steps that weren't lands that I would be interested in. That is definitely one of them. All right. Well, not great. I kind of have to take this turn off here. A little unfortunate. But at some point we'll draw a land. I can feel it. And when we do, that turn is going to be ridiculous. But it just didn't block. I would have thought they would have traded here. Alright, I guess they're setting up to do something on this turn. Maybe they need to look for like a sweeper or something. I don't know. Use this thing to get some scry action off. Okay. The opponent has left up a counterspell. That's my read. This deck's ability to not draw lands is ridiculous. It's like historically ridiculous. I just want a land, man. One land turns on my whole hand. Alright, now we're trading. Nope, still not trading. Do we trade? Okay, we do trade. Alright. I accept. I accept your offering. Alright. I would not be shocked if opponent hit Extinction Event. I think I'm supposed to keep this tracker in my hand to play around it. I think. Don't really know, though. Maybe I'm just supposed to play it because at some point I will draw a land. I'm just missing. I don't know. Alright, they have a Fatal Push for my tracker. Well, now I wish I had played it. Feels bad, man. It's actually kind of mind-blowing to me that they didn't push Rada. I'm like clearly missing on lands. And there's not a land on top of my library. Why would you not push Rada there? Land on top one time, deck. Opponent's still with the upkeep stop. You know what's better than drawing a land there is drawing a 5-drop. Yep, drawing a 5-drop. It's basically the same thing. I mean, on turn 4, we did draw our land. This is the only land we've drawn in 6 draw steps. When any one land would have been excellent. Alright, land under this Cavalier, please. We even are like looking a card deeper every turn, too. So it's more like an... Yes! Yes! We've done it! We have done it! Play Glory Breezy. Cavalier of Flams. Victory! We've done it! We won! Alright. Won the die roll here for round 4. Can we get like one busted hand? This isn't it. This is not it. Whatever a busted hand looks like, it's not that. I think this is a keep. I think this one's a keep. I don't know if it's good, but we're going to keep. Got a nice little 2, 3, 4, 5 curve here. If we can draw some lands, which... Maybe we can do that. Oh, play an elf. Yes! Yes! Get stomped! Stomp. Ooh, fires is... Well, it's alright. Stomp. So I think we're playing against Winota. Alright, a classic case of never drawing a land ever with this deck. Seems to be pretty popular among things this deck likes to do, is not draw a single land ever or draw only lands. Alright, definitely playing against Winota. One has many tithe takers. Well, I don't interact on your turn anyway, so it's fine. Land. Yes, got there. Fires of Invention, Questing Beast, and we bash. I'm not sending the Bone Crusher because I don't want to trade and give him 2 non-humans. Questing Beast is just a much better play in my opinion, because now I don't need to be scared of Winota next turn. And I can set up to hopefully draw the next land, and then go Cavalier plus Pia and end the game. Opponent has very many anti-my spells on your turn. Good thing I have fires in play and don't care about that at all. And we drew the land. So, is it lethal? Probably, right? This is 6. Both of these are 6. I guess they end up blocking every other thing I play. Is that right? I could actually die to a note on the crackback, which is pretty annoying. I mean, whatever. I'm not doing it. I guess I need to make sure first. So if I take with these 3, they all just get chumped, and I guess this gets traded with. And then opponent has 3 things that trigger Winota. So it's probably actually better to just do this. Just get the pumps in. And attack for 12, put opponent to 2. Make it so they can't shock next turn if they want to play a big drop. If they want to trigger Winota, they get 1 trigger, and I have blockers at least, so I can not die to the big guy. And then they're dead to Pia activation, or just attacking with these, so they can't even just kill Pia and get out of it. Eldritch Evolution. Alright. So they are probably going to get Winota. I guess they could get King Kenny. No, it has to be Winota, right? Or 3-drop. 3-drop's not going to do it, so it is going to be Winota, sure. And they'll get to trigger it once. Alright, well, I'm probably just not going to block. Nope, no, I'm definitely going to block. I lied. So I take 8 if I block there. I actually can not block, go to 2, and kill them on the crackback, but yeah, they're dead. I guess they couldn't have Eldritch Evolution for Winota if I made the attack. So maybe that's something I missed by not triple attacking. I think that's interesting. Alright, this is why we have Anger the Gods and Grafdigger's Cage. Those are coming in. What is not good here? Scavenging Ooze seems medium. Tracker seems medium. Xenagos seems medium. Alright. This is my word, and as such, it is law that that sideboarding plan is perfect. Right. Ooh, we got the cage. This thing looks decent. This thing looks quite decent. I don't need to play the cage super quick, although if they lead with Llanowar into like a 2-drop, then I will play the cage. I'd rather turn 3 to cage. I'd rather go Land War and Narada so I can start getting value from the lands off the top of my library. Oh, mulligans to 5, huh? Alright, opponent does have the land, and they have a stomping ground. Alright, fair enough. He has our own elf. Alright, I said if they played this turn, I would play cage next turn, and that's honestly fine. Yeah. I'm just going to play the cage. I'm not interested in dying to Winota next turn, which I might do. If I played Errata. It also stops Eldritch Evolution from being a card. Alright, they had Winota, so playing the cage was pretty smart. So now I just have to beat a 2-2 and a 4-4, and as it turns out, my hand is very good at doing that, provided that this doesn't do its broken thing, which we've shut off. Perfect. I'm definitely just going to play fires here. Given that we hit the land, too, I just don't think we can lose anymore. Shame. Could have got some value. Oh, well. Not like it matters, because next turn my play is just so scripted to just be shock, play both of these, pump twice, bash. I think opponent is like 0% to beat this. Oh, wait, I can't cast these. Big dumb. Big dumb. Well, I mean, I can cast them, obviously. I can't cast them with fires. Let's get rid of this Winota. It's the thing kind of stopping me here. It's not stopping me, but it's the thing holding opponent's game plan together. So now if they like find some random answer they brought in for Grafdigger's Cage, like I still don't lose because they just don't have a note anymore. Another Voice of Resurgence. I would not be shocked if they chump attack here. Nope. Okay, they're not doing that. Fair enough. Land off the top, maybe? No. Stomp. What are we doing here, opponent? Alright, then let me make a play. Fair enough. I'm going to pitch this elf. I don't want it anymore. Ooh, another Cavalier of Flames. That's decent. I'm going to stomp with Fires of Invention. Sounds good to me. Alright, so I'm just going to attack with these two because they can't trade with either of them. They have to chump. And also leaving the elf back in case they have something crazy next turn, I think is safe because I have him dead the turn after pretty much no matter what. All right, we are 2-2. This pile of Gruul stuff looking slightly better than I would have thought. Still not good. Still not good, but slightly better. Is this hand good? I think it's not good. So knowing I can't turn to the tracker because my mana doesn't work. I do think it's a keep still. I don't think it's good. Sorry, very important text. Crucial. Crucial text. Had to get it out. Alright, opponent is ramping. We're ramping. Let's see who ramps harder. It's just... So it's slightly better to play Mountain here, right? Because next turn I can go Tracker, play Land, play Elvish Mystic. Yeah. Alright. It is slightly better. Oh no. Opposed doing big stuff. I don't like it. Cultivating too? Oh no. Oh no. They're going to Ugin me or something ridiculous, and we're just going to die. I need a Fires stat. Fires. Alright, yep, that's basically a Fires. Cavalier of Thorns? Oh no. It's the Cavalier matchup. Oh wow. Opponent's got some big stuff in that graveyard. Yikes. Yikes. Is any of this good? I think it's really not. I think it's like really, really not good. I need to hit my land this turn, so I'm going to pitch both of those. Alright, we did hit the land, finally. Alright, if that's opponent's play this turn, I am terrified. That means they have something huge in their hand. Like multiple somethings huge in their hand. I do not like that. I don't like that at all. I could get back World Breaker if they trade here, but is that bad for me? I don't really know. I think I'm cracking the clue. I would like to hit a land this turn. It's a little awkward. I still think I'm supposed to. So now, pumping still doesn't give me real attacks. I could just attack with this if I wanted to. I think I still wait. Waiting is dangerous here. Opponent's getting closer to doing something really degenerate, which I don't like. World Breaker. Don't World Breaker me. Ugh. Ugh. I'm fine if they sack Sanctum of Ugin, though. Alright, well. Can't stop that from happening. I am glad we hit our land last turn, though. Scoos. Scoos actually isn't bad. Right, let's play Piet and Curon. I still want to just keep hitting my lands. Alright, that's not a land, but I can play this elf. We're getting closer to lands. I can feel it. Opponent can now play Ugin the Spirit Dragon, which would be really bad for me. Alright. Can confirm quite bad. I do have 2 Thops, though, which isn't horrible. And if they attack, I can kill it with QB. I guess I can kill it no matter what next turn with QB. This deck's ability to just always draw the wrong mana source never ceases to amaze me. It's impressive. Alright, so not going to chump attack a Thopter to put Ugin to 1. I don't think that matters enough. I do think that Ugin's pretty likely to plus... Oh, interesting. Do they just have another Ugin? Maybe they have like a... No, Walking Bliss is banned. Cultivate. Okay, so their hand is just like Emrakul and Ulamog. I am in very, very much trouble. I was hoping this play would incentivize them to shoot here and then attack Vivian, because that seemed like the best play from my perspective. Maybe they're just holding back because they knew Ugin was coming. It is possible. Alright, we're going to jam this questing beast. Alright. I'm going to make another 3/3 Vigilance. I really think Trample matters. So now we can finally kill Ugin. But I think it's going to come at the cost of opponent playing an Ulamog this turn or an Emrakul. And that's probably going to be too much. Probably going to be too much. Alright. Is it Utamog? It is Utamog. Perfect. You love to get Utamog. It's wonderful. Now I can't kill... If it hits my 2/3/3s, I can't kill Ugin either. Hit my lands. Okay. I actually think I kind of have a shot here. Not a good shot, but a shot. Oh no, they get the tutor? Yeah, alright, never mind. Roll the Promised End. So... I play QB, I attack Ugin, you. It's the best I can do with this attack. Yep, they're going to block the one coming at them, which means I get to keep my questing beast, which is kind of nice. but I don't think I can win. I do not think I can win. My head was too slow. The tap lands on 1 and 2 were just too brutal. I think I could have won otherwise, but yeah. Another Ugin? Alright, well, that's enough for me. Maybe could have beaten the first one. Definitely couldn't beaten the second one. And I don't know that we have anything that really helps us here. So that's great. It's great. Alright, submit. We'll see what happens. Ugh. All right. Is this hand good? I actually think that it is. I actually think this hand can win. It's the type of hand where turn 2 Rada can find me lands. If I can go turn 2 Rada, turn 3 Questing Beast, I don't think the opponent can keep up. Always having the Grazer is pretty nice, though. It's not really what we were looking for. Alright, we are drawing a land, though. So we got the QB, which is great. If there's a land under it, it's even better. I'll take Greenland. I would like red source, but I'll take Greenland. Yeah, opponent has had turn 1 Grazer, turn 2 Cultivate both games. This deck plays like only expensive stuff too. It's actually slightly annoying that they would just have like their 2 of their 12 cheap plays in every hand. Ooh, we actually drew red source too. That's even better. These. I do think I'm supposed to QB. I just need to keep the pressure on. We bashing. Green Cavalier is going to be a big stop sign, though, unfortunately for us. Don't really know how I'm going to beat that. Courser of Crewfix. That one I can beat. Oh, next turn is Green Cavalier. Alright, well, now we know. This is some green and pioneer shenanigans if I've ever seen them. Just both playing with the top card of our library up. These L's just continue to look worse and worse every time I play against, or every time I play. Let's get this Courser out of here while we still can. Try and push some damage. Alright, opponent's getting some chumps in. Fair enough. They are getting very, very close to Uginning me, though, which is probably going to end the game, if we're being honest. I think I can beat an Ugin. Oogie. But maybe I can. Another Courser, huh? Fires is not a very good draw. I don't actually care if they get anything back, so I am going to attack with my Questing Beast. There's nothing in this hand that seems particularly good. Alright, so they're just trying to save life, which makes sense. I do think I'm getting Ugined, for the record. Don't really think there's anything I can do about it, though. Pick another courser. It's going to get exerted on. I don't really understand that. Because they're just trying to stay alive. Well, I'm going to play P and Curon. I'm going to play an elf, because I don't think saving an elf helps me beat an Ugin, but playing this one might. I don't know. Ugin's going to be, like, nigh unbeatable for me either way. The fact that they didn't play a Courser before playing that land is terrifying. It means they have an Ugin. Just always, dude. Always. Well, I can at least kill it if they want to take care of my Glorybringer. I can at least do that. Oh, they have another Ugin on top of their library. That's perfect. I was just thinking that would be really good if they had another Ugin on top of their library. Gosh, man. Alright, I have to attack Ugin. It's worse to let it plus on one of my things. There's another Ugin next turn that they can play, but I can actually beat that one with what's on board at the moment. So what they're going to do is Worldbreaker my fires this turn, and that's definitely bad for me. No question. No, Ugining? What? That can't be right. Alright. I guess they just plus and kill P and Kieran? That's better than minusing by far. Yeah, okay. Okay, that actually makes sense then. I need a spell here. Just... Yep, okay. What if I attack them? No, this Ugin just alts. Gaining 7 life and drawing 7 cards is just way too good. I can't beat that. Landorf was the actual worst card in my deck there, too, because if I drew land, I could at least play land and then play Cavalier with fires and have mana up to, like, haste it. Elf means I can't do any of those things, and I just have a random body in play that gets swept by Ugin. And I just get Worldbreakered to death. Alright, so maybe a hasty thing here gives me a shot. Probably still not. Alright, that's enough of that. As you can see, this deck could maybe beat the first Ugin. Definitely not the second. Definitely not the second. Never beating the second. Alright, so final thoughts on the deck. I think it's quite bad. I don't really think this deck is at all playable if you're trying to win. It's probably a good deck to have fun with. I think that the Elvish Mystic and Llanowar Elf package is really powerful. And if I was going to play a green-red Fires of Invention shell, I would still include these. But I think the fact that I'm playing this dis-synergy between these cards as my two, like, mana engines makes me think that I should be looking for different shells. And I think that's borne out in what decks are actually successful, right? Like, you don't see green Fires decks in this format because they just don't play well together. Fires is a Jeskai deck in the format because it's Jeskai's way to kind of keep up with green's mana, if that makes sense, in this format specifically. And, yeah, the elf decks, you know, green is usually either doubling their mana with Wilderness Wreck and playing instants, or ramping into big stuff with elves, like you saw my opponent just do there. But, yeah, this deck just doesn't feel like it's on the power level of the other decks. Fires is a powerful card, Cavalier is a powerful card, but there's so many broken cards we can be playing in this format. We just aren't playing any of them. Like, why aren't we playing Uro? Why? Like, we do have Fires, I guess, but we're not playing 3 minutes of Fate. Teferi, or Narset, or Nissa, who shakes the world, which I do think Vivian's better for this deck specifically, but like Nissa's just clearly a better card. So it's like, I think what happened with this deck is we built a coherent shell, and it makes sense. All the card choices and all the cards make sense in the shell. And what's actually happening, the reason why it's not good, is that it is a bad version of something else in a couple different ways, right? Like it's a worse Elvish Mystic or Llanowar Elves deck than some of the good Llanowar Elf and Elvish Mystic decks, right? Like Winota would be my example of that. And it's a worse Fires of Invention deck than Jeskai Luka. And there isn't a Cavalier Flame deck, but it's a worse Glorybringer deck than like a Mono Red, or like a worse Glorybringer Bone Crusher Giant than a Mono Red deck. And I just don't really know what it's doing well. It doesn't really interact with other decks on a good access. Yeah. It's not something I would play again. At least until the format's changed and then maybe there's a reason to be playing it. It does seem like, again, I don't think the person who built this deck built it poorly, or that it was wrong to build any of that, for the record. Like, I actually think that this is how you do well in Magic, is you build decks like this, and then you play a league, and then you kind of figure out, hey, why wasn't this successful? And I think that is why it is. And, you know, I've played enough of these where it's like, okay, worse Llanowar Elf deck than other Llanowar Elf deck I could play, worse Fires deck than other Fires deck I could play, worse Bone Crusher Glorybringer deck than other decks I could play that do those things. And yeah, I think that's what it came down to. So I think that's where we're going to leave this video today. Remember, if you guys like the content we're making here, liking and subscribing really helps us. We appreciate it anytime anybody can do that. Remember, if you want to see your videos or your decks done in videos like this, where I play through with them and give a description of what I thought was good, what I thought wasn't good, what I liked, what I didn't, all of that, I'm happy to do that for anybody. Yeah, I don't mind playing bad decks. If you tell me the deck's bad, I'm happy to play it. I'm just, with this deck, it seemed like the commenter wanted me to test it and give actual pro feedback on it, and that is my real feedback. That is what, if I was testing for a Pro Tour, that is what I would tell my team when they say, hey, test this deck out, how do you feel about it? And I would say, yeah, worse version than this, worse version than that, worse version than this, because of these reasons, so I'm ruling this out as a deck we should play, and we should be looking at decks that are better versions of these effects. And that is the feedback I'd leave, and then my team would just go, sure, yep, let's go test the other things, and that's what it is. But yeah, if you want to send me a meme deck, you guys know I'm happy to meme. I'll meme all day. We might have a Bogglestron video coming up. No promises, but there might be a Bogglestron video coming up. But again, leave comments, subscribe, likes, share on social media. All that helps. We appreciate any of it. And with that, I'll talk to you next time.